Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most important data types in Python, strings. Whether you are just starting out or brushing up for interviews, this is a must-know topic. So let's break it down and see what makes Python strings so powerful. Before we dive in, here's a quick summary of Python strings. In Python, strings are just a bunch of characters wrapped in a single or double quotes. If you have got a longer message, triple quotes lets you write strings that span multiple lines. One thing to remember, strings cannot be changed once you make them. That is, they are immutable. Python gives you cool methods like dot upper, dot lower, and dot strip to play around with the strings. You can stick strings together with a plus sign or repeat them using a star symbol. And if you want to add things like new lines or tabs, you can use escape sequences like \n and \t. Now let's take a closer look and explore how strings work in detail. Let's start with something simple, creating strings. In Python, a string is just a text and you can write it using either single quotes or double quotes. Think of it as having a single quoted string or double quoted string. Both work exactly the same. Python doesn't mind which one you use as long as you open and close with the same type. And that's how easy it is to make a string in Python. Next, let's talk about triple quotes for a multi-line strings. Sometimes your string needs to stretch across multiple lines, like a paragraph or a message. In Python, you can use triple quotes for that, either 3 double quotes or 3 single quotes. For example, we have multi-line equals to triple quotes, then line 1, line 2, line 3, and we close the quotes. When you print it, Python keeps the line breaks just as you wrote them. Super handy for long text or nicely formatted messages. Now, let's talk about including quote characters inside a string. What if your text needs to have quotation marks? Easy, just mix them up. Use double quotes around a string if it contains single quote, like it's Python. Or use single quotes if it contains double quotes, like he said, hello. Python gets it as long as you open and close your string with the same type of quote. Let's talk about escape sequences. Little shortcuts you can use inside the strings. First up, the basics. If you write \t inside a string, it adds a tab space. For example, name \t Alice will display with extra space between name and Alice. Similarly, \n creates a new line. So line 1 \n line 2 will print as line 1, and in the next line you will see line 2. These tricks are super handy for formatting your output neatly. Next, let's look at octal, hex, and Unicode in strings. Python lets you use numbers to represent characters. Pretty cool, right? \141 is the octal code for the letter A. So when you use that in print, then it shows A. Similarly, \x50 is hexadecimal code for P. So it prints P. And for special symbols, you can use Unicode by name. For example, \n rightwards arrow gives you the actual arrow. These are handy when working with special characters or when you need exact control over your text. Now, let's look at raw strings. Perfect when you don't want Python to process escape sequences. Normally, \t adds a tab and double backslash becomes single backslash. For example, when you print like path \t and then the directory structure, it prints path and then the directory structure. But if you use a raw string by adding an R before the quotes, like R, then in double quotes, you have a string. You get exactly what you typed. No surprises, right? Super handy for file paths and regular expressions. Now, let's talk about formatted string literals or F strings. They are the easiest way to include variables right inside your text. Just add F before the quotes and put a variable inside curly braces. For example, we have name equals to Bob. Okay, you use F string, F, then you put the variable in the curly braces. It prints hello Bob. You can also format numbers if score equals to, for example, 95.54, and you use the same F string. After score, you put a colon and you provide .1f. That shows one decimal place. Then it will print score equals to 95.5. And if the variable would have been 95.56, it will round it to 95.6. Clean, readable, and perfect for dynamic text. Moving on. If you need to turn something into a string, just use Python's built-in str function. Calling str with nothing gives you an empty string. Pass a number like 42 and you get 42 as a string. Pass a float like 3.14 and you get 3.14 as a string. Simple, quick, and works with just anything. Lists and dictionaries work too. For example, when you pass list to a string function, it gives you the string version of that list. And same thing is with the dictionaries. When you pass a dictionary to a str function, it returns a string version of that dictionary. This is really handy when you want to display data or store it as a text. For example, when printing results to the screen or printing them to a file. In short, str is a quick way to turn almost anything into a readable string. Using operators on strings. Now, let's see how we can join strings together using plus sign. Say you have a word data and another word science. When you add them with a space between them using the plus operator, it simply combines them into one phrase, data science. It's like putting Lego blocks together to build something bigger. Next up, the star or asterisk operator is a neat trick to repeat strings. Imagine you want to create a line of dashes. Just type dash times 5 and boom, you get a line. Or say you want to cheer someone, like just enter hi times 3 and you get it. It's a simple way to create patterns or repeat message without typing it over and over. Let's talk about how to find if a smaller string or substring is inside a bigger one using in and not in. For example, if you look for the word Python inside the sentence Python is great, it returns true because it's there. But if you search for Java, it will return false since it's not there. You can also check for individual characters like Z is not in hello, so that's true. But H is there, so it returns false. This makes it super easy to check if something exists inside a string without any complicated code. Let's explore some built-in functions for strings. First up, len tells you how many characters are in a string. Like machine has 7 letters while an empty string has 0. Then there is ord, which gives you the number code of a character. In this case, A is 97 and chr does the opposite. It takes a number and gives you a matching character like 8364 turns into a euro symbol. These functions help you work with strings in different ways behind the scenes. Now, let's look at converting things to strings with str and repr function. The str function gives you a simple user-friendly version like turning a number 3.14 into a string 3.14. repr gives you official detailed version which looks the same here but can differ sometimes. You can also convert lists or dictionaries into strings with these, like list or a dictionary turning into their string forms. It's great for showing data in different ways. Here's a simple animal class with two things, a name and a sound it makes. Inside the class, we define two special methods, repr and str, that control how the object shows up as a string. repr function gives you a detailed description, while str gives you friendly, easy to read message. This setup helps us show the object in different ways. Now, when we create a dog object and use repr on it, we get the official description, animal with name and sound. But using str gives a simpler message. The dog says woof. So repr is great for debugging. str is better for user-friendly display. Let's dive into string indexing and slicing. Imagine word Python as a row of letters, each with its own position number. When you use word 0, you get the very first letter, that is P. Using negative index like -1 grabs the last letter, that is N. You can also take a slice of the string like the word 1 to 4, which picks letters starting from position 1 up to but not including 4. So here you get YTH. This way you can easily access or cut out any part of the string you want. Let's look at some cool ways to slice strings with steps. Using word : -1 reverses the whole string. So Python becomes reverse of Python. You can also pick every second character by adding a step number, like word 0:6:2 grabs letters at even positions, giving you PTO, or word 1:6:2 picks letters at odd positions, which results in YHN. It's a fun way to jump through a string and grab just what you want. Strings in Python are immutable, which means once you create a string, you can't change it. When you make a copy of string, like with alias equals to word : both alias and word actually point to the same string in memory. That's why ID of word is equal to ID of alias, and alias is word, both return true. So instead of making a new string, Python just reuses the original one. Pretty efficient. Here's what happens when you try to change a single character in a string. If you have the word cat and try to replace the letter at position 1 with S, Python won't let you. You will get type error saying strings don't support item assignment. This is because strings are immutable in nature. You can't change parts of them directly once they are created. Let's check out some handy string methods from str class. Using .upper turns all letters into uppercase. So hello becomes capitalized hello. And .lower method does the opposite. It makes everything lowercase. So world in capital letters turns to lowercase world. And .title capitalizes the first letter of each word. So Python is fun becomes, as you see on the screen. These methods make it easy to change how your text looks. Let's explore some useful ways to find and replace text in string. The count method tells you how many times a word appears, like apple shows up twice in apple, banana, apple. The find method looks for the first place a word appears, giving its position. For example, world starts at position 6 in hello world. This also rfind, which finds the last occurrence. So it spots the second apple starting at position 13. And with replace, you can swap out words like changing world to Python in a sentence. These tools make working with the text super easy. Now, let's look at some handy string checks. The isAlnum method checks if a string has only letters and numbers. The isAlpha method checks if the string has only letters. For example, only text.isAlpha is true, but hello with exclamation isAlpha is false because of the exclamation mark. And isDigit checks if the string only contains the digits, like 2025.isDigit returns true. These checks are great for validating input or filtering text. Now, let's look at joining and splitting strings. The .join method takes a list of words and combines them into one string, adding whatever you put between them, like spaces or comma. On the flip side, the .split breaks a string into list based on spaces or any characters you choose. So apple, orange, banana becomes 3 separate words. You can even split by commas. And here's a neat trick to centralize the text. Center method lets you pad a string with characters to center it. So hi becomes dash 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 hi, then dashes. These methods are great for formatting and organizing the text. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Check out the links on the screen to watch more awesome content. See you in the next one. Keep learning, keep coding.